Alright. Alright, what do we got? This sounds great. I've got some Anafenzas and some Voice of Resurgences. We're very unlucky. They didn't discard our Wilt-Leaf Liege. That's really unfortunate. I got so excited when they cast the Burning Inquiry there. Oh, we're so unlucky. We didn't get our own 4/4 for free. Oh, they don't have another land. They missed their land. Okay, deal. Anafenza is pretty good in this matchup too. Huh. We just have a ton of cards that are great in this matchup, don't we? Usually we don't need to do it for 2 leagues. Yeah, it's a little over a gig and a half. Usually we can get through 2 leagues without doing a moto restart. I probably should have done that while we were waiting, though. Probably should have done that while we were waiting. I see a message on Patreon, so I do see your message there. That's annoying. Please cast another Burning Inquiry. Oh, they have a Delve creature. Are we dead? God. I think we're dead. That's really unfortunate. Maybe we'll get really lucky and they'll Burning Inquiry us next turn. Like the old pre-combat Burning Inquiry. And just dump 12 power into play. See how they want to attack here. Do I want to trade both of these for this? I don't think so. I'm going to block here and go to 5. Pretty dead. I guess they could Burning Inquiry us next turn, right? So I'm gonna put this into play tapped and pass the turn. If they don't Burning Inquiry, we're pretty dead here. If they have Burning Inquiry, they're incentivized to play it since they have Flameblade Adept in play, so that's nice. Alright, we're dead. Alright, so what are we doing here? We've got 2 copies of Rest in Peace that are fine. Maelstrom Pulse is fine. Abrupt Decay is actually pretty bad in this matchup, right? It doesn't really deal with any of their stuff. I think Inquisition's probably bad too. Maybe this is fine just for like targeting their little stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I'm just going to swap out the Inquisitions for Rest in Peace and a Maelstrom Pulse. What is Doran better than? You think it's better than Abrupt Decay? I guess it kills them. I could see that. This hand's pretty good. Hopefully if they Burning Inquiry us, we'll get a free 4/4. Grim Lavamancer. Well, I'm glad I have this Rest in Peace. This is a good example of like where I'd want to fetch a god. What's it called? I really wish I could fetch a copy of Godless Shrine. I'm gonna fetch a Overgrown Tomb here. But like if they kill this, I don't really want Overgrown Tomb. This is gonna be check 1 for why isn't there a Godless Shrine in my deck? If they kill my Noble Hierarch, I think I'm just fetching Temple Garden. What a fucking tilt. And kept our extra Rest in Peace and our Wilt-Leaf Liege. Well, I guess I'm playing this. I'm gonna play this Overgrown Tomb out too. I'm gonna hold this for one more turn just in case. You don't play Hallowed unless your Burning Aquari luck is on point, right? I suppose. What'd they discard? They actually lost a Hallowed one in there, so we didn't get our free 4/4, but they didn't get a free 4/4 either. I wonder if I was supposed to attack with Noble Hierarch there. Probably. Yeah, I think I was supposed to hit. I think I've missed 2 points of damage by not attacking with the Noble Hierarch. Yeah, I think planning to double. No, Rip does not prevent the Liege from coming into play. Liege does not hit the graveyard. Yeah, I'm going to leave the Hierarch back this time because double blocking with Kitchen Finks seems ideal because they're not going to be able to kill Kitchen Finks most likely. Oh. Oh yeah, the Kitchen Finks with the Rip, it does just go away, doesn't it? That is silly. Maybe the Finks are supposed to get cut from my deck in exchange for... Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Thank God. Ooh. We got a piece of candy, chat. We got a piece of candy. We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray! Since you already have updated the Sultai list in the queue, I'll just donate my bucks towards the democracy points for it. Thank you, Tarmagusi. I appreciate that. Push that one right on up there. All right, we're doing Abrupt Decay. Hey, thanks for the memories and the amazing content. Eve, thank you for the 4-month resubscription. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. Let's just get our beat down on here, right? I'm just gonna smash. go. This is a good line on the opponent's part, just like hoping their Flameblade Adepts can get there this turn. Abrupt Decay should mean that's not possible, though. Alright, so I'm going to cut these Kitchen Finks and bring in these Dorans, since Kitchen Finks Rip is not a combo. I'm going to turn 1 Decay and leave 1 more Finks in. And let's do that. I mean, what... Use your words, Ball. What matchups are you expecting to just win because you have Bribery? Yeah, Doran does make their adepts worse. Alright, we've got a Loxodon Smiter in our opener and a Fatal Push. This seems pretty good. No, I don't think Rule of Law is particularly good in this matchup. Yeah, they could have just eaten it with their Hollowed one for free. Rule of Law is also very slow. This is probably going to go Overgrown Tomb, push this, untap, Plains, Pridemage. You think Burning Inquiry is still in their deck? Or do you think they boarded that one out? Their deck has to be pretty inconsistent without Burning Inquiry, right? So maybe they just like have to hope to run hot with it. They lost a Hollowed one. Okay, that's good for us. Let's see if they have another one here. Oh, you know what? I should kill this before this trigger resolves, just in case they're doing something silly like playing Simian Spirit Guide. No reason not to play around that. Godless Shrine would be okay here. I think I'd rather hedge having more green. They do have a Hollowed one. Doran's pretty good. Blocks this profitably. We also have this Qasali Pridemage to potentially just sacrifice and shoot this. We need to not get run out by this Flame Wake Phoenix long term. Yep. I am of the opinion that the only reason we think Thoughtseize is okay in Modern is because the things that Thoughtseize prevents are more offensive than Thoughtseize itself, right? Like, the reason why people talk about Thoughtseize being fine is because, like, it's less obnoxious than Storm and, like, less obnoxious than these other things, right? I think it looks like we're actually going to lose this game, which is pretty sad. I was kind of expecting this match to be a slam dunk, but this is, like, one of the reasons why the Hollowed One deck's so powerful, right? Like, even against a deck like ours that has, like, a lot of tools in a matchup like this, it's not a guaranteed by any means. Alright, I'm going to eat this and then go to 3 here. Dead to Bolt. Another Delph threat. Pretty dead to most things here. We're dead in 2 to this. What's going on, Burgle? Could you imagine, like, Mono Red just, like, 18-0 to Grand Prix? Could you imagine if, like, Rampaging Ferocodon and those other cards were still legal? This is actually... Huh. So if I attack with this and they don't block, and then they have nothing next turn, I actually get to kill them with Doran on the backswing, right? So that seems good for us. I get to go chump here. This is a good play to win attack, I think. They left Burning Inquiry in their deck. That's impressive. Okay. Yeah, I like just this attack from the opponent. It's good and conservative. Like, we're dead to this next turn regardless. And, like, we have to take this off the table, too. Yep, just not a whole lot we can do here. I'm not sure if that was a serious comment or not, but I'm going to time it out hoping it's not. Should I play Commandeer to beat Thoughtseize? No, you shouldn't. Yeah, no, you shouldn't. Alright. How are we doing, folks? Welcome to folks coming in from the Grand Prix. Hanging out, playing some little kid Abzan, getting beat by Hollowed One here. Sometimes their aggressive starts are pretty good. I mean, technically commandeering a Thoughtseize is 3 for 2ing yourself, right? You're taking 2 cards from them at the cost of 3 cards for you. So it's still technically card disadvantage, but it's not quite 3 for 1. It's not quite 3 for 1. Yeah, it's 3 for 2. Those are the best trolls, right? The best trolls are the ones that make you stop and think, huh, are they being genuine? Are they being genuine? This is a mulligan, right? It's just like 6 pieces of mana. See, it's like not exciting, but it's fine. Top that. This deck is exceedingly fair. That is definitely a good way to describe what's going on here. Exceedingly fair. Eldrazi-tron, huh? Eldrazi-tron. It's been a while since I've seen Eldrazi-tron. Just putting this into play tapped. Our Qasali Pridemage is probably not going to be particularly good here. I guess they have Mind Stones and Chalice of the Voids a lot of the time. And I'd be very surprised if Arena was released for Linux. I'd be very surprised if Arena released for Linux. That being said, most Unity games I've played work fine on Linux through Wine, so I'd probably expect it to work that way. I mean, even Magic Online works on Linux through Wine. I'm gonna get smushered here. Yep. So I guess I get to keep them. Yeah, fair decks like what we're playing. Well, that's a good draw. Fair decks like what we're playing are much a Life SSBM with the 3-month Twitch Prime resubscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. So I'm going to crack them for 3 with this. I'm going to blow up their Expedition map. And then we get to path this and put Loxodon Smiter into play. So we've got that going for us. I'm assuming they just have Natural Tron since they exposed their map to my Qasali Pridemage here. Or they could just have more Smashers and they're hoping to just run us down here. Yeah, that's basically what you do. You install the Windows version of Steam through Wine, and then install the Windows games through it. We're not quite dead. We get to put this into play. And, like, we're going to 8 here. But, like, I only have 2 cards left. I'm gonna fetch a Temple Garden here and put Anafenza into play. And then we've got, like, 2 4/4s versus their 5/5. Like, opponent's got a lot of live draws that kill us here, but it's effectively dead, but... You know, don't play around things you can't beat. Alright, let's take a peek. This can take, like, Walking Ballista and Hangerback Walker, which are very bad for us. Endbringer, Thought-Knot Seer. Two perfectly reasonable and beatable Magic the Gathering cards, right? Can certainly beat both of these. No, that is not how Magic the Gathering works. Michael D4. This card would be busted beyond belief if you could discard it to Collective Brutality. That would be a tier 1 modern deck. You heard it here first. If you could Collective Brutality these into play, that would be a tier 1 modern deck. Are there any disadvantages to dual booting Linux and Windows versus just using Windows? Well, for starters, Wine is not an emulator. Wine is not a virtual machine, which is why it's great. Wine does not encompass having the overhead of a virtual machine. I think we found the Doran matchup, right? It's just like bringing it against the big beaters. Abrupt Decay is pretty terrible here, right? This Maelstrom Pulse is fine. Maybe I want these Thoughtseizes just to like tag their big poopers. Teeg stops. All is dust. Alright, let's do it. I can't keep that in good conscience, unfortunately. Seems very good. Get to Lava Axe myself on turn 1, play a Voice on turn 2. I'll just do whatever here. I mean, by definition, Wine is not an emulator, right? Like, it's a compatibility layer. Maybe you could argue that that's splitting hairs. Matter Reshaper, Walking Ballista, Smasher. Alright, Face, you know the drill. Your username's not new here. Take a 10-minute break. You gotta be specific. You gotta help us out here. Hey, Aaron, thank you for the donation. This is for Amulet Titan. Sounds good. Definitely get that one in the queue. I think I'm just fetch shocking again. It doesn't... I need my white sources, right? I guess I could just get basic planes. I guess I'm just going to get basic planes. God, we're just going to get natural Tron, aren't we? They had one Tron piece. I mean, Crucible Ghost Quarter is very slow. Crucible Ghost Quarter is very slow, especially if we hit our third land on time. It's gonna stumble and die, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. We're very dead here. Very, very dead. Might be a fast second league of the evening. This deck isn't particularly impressive. It's just like it's got a lot of reasonable cards in it, but honestly the loss to Hollowed One kind of feels like a great testament to like why decks like this kind of struggle in Modern. You just like nothing's a sure thing, even when we have a lot of tools for beating a matchup that's good. Like Hollowed One on paper, like you look at this deck list and you go, you're like, this deck list should be really good against Hollowed One, right? We have like all the tools, we can interact with their creatures, we make their burning inquiries pretty laughable, we've got large threats, we gain a little bit of health. But then like in reality, they just run us out of the game sometimes. And like this deck doesn't have one of those powerful Modern nut draws like we see in a lot of the decks that are tiered decks in the format. Generally speaking, decks that are really good in Modern have some of those, like, I'm just going to run you out of the game style draws. Yeah, I agree, Not Solid. Our decks, it's just a little bit clunky, right? Like, our resource to body ratio just like isn't very efficient. Like 4/4s for 3, that's just like not a good enough rate in Modern, right? Yeah, the Hollow One deck is very good right now. I agree. It feels like losing the toolbox aspect that the Evolution core deck that we played the other night isn't worth the downside that we have here. So I have to choose, do I want an Inquisition or do I want to Noble Hierarch? I think I want an Inquisition in case they have a 3-drop I really want to take. Ooh, Panza. I guess I can Pridemage the Courser, right? So I'll take the tracker before it draws cards. All right, take a 10-minute timeout. So again, if you want to tell me I'm wrong, you have to tell me why I'm wrong. You have to say my line would be Noble into Inquisition Voice because, and then put on your big kid pants and tell me why that would be your play as opposed to the play that I made. For instance, I made the play that I made because I wanted the best possible chance to be able to take whatever their most powerful 3-drop was since they had an acceleration on the play. I think consistency problems is completely off base and inaccurate, James Poppy. I think relating to the current power level of the deck and like the rate we're getting on cards compared to what other people are doing in Modern, like a lot of people, you know, you spend 1 mana to get a 5/5 in the Hollowed One deck, or you spend 0 mana to get a 4/4, and like, all right, get banned. All right, the best way to get banned permanently on my channel is to come back and complain about being timed out when I ask you to articulate yourself. I drew a Molten Rain. Okay. So I kind of want to take this off the table, but at the same time, I don't really want to ramp them into the Stormbreath Dragon. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Noble Hierarch out so that way next turn I can kill this with Qasali Pridemage. But I guess we're getting Stormbreath Dragon next turn, right? And I actually, we have Maelstrom Pulse to kill Stormbreath Dragon. We have exactly one way to kill Stormbreath Dragon R75. What's going on, Ducks? You're a big kid. Use your words. And honestly, I don't even know that if it's about like fair versus unfair Steez Train. I feel like that's like the definition people go with. I think more explicitly, it's about rates. The rates that you're getting when you are playing the deck. Like, it's just not a good rate in Modern to spend 3 mana for a 4/4 when the other decks that are playing vanilla 4/4s and vanilla 5/5s are paying 0 and 1 mana for those cards. Like, we're paying more than the going rate for an effect in the format, basically, is what it comes down to. So, Herp Shaderp, I kind of appreciate your sentiment there, but honestly, the chat interacting with what I do here on stream, I want that. I want people to go ahead and tell me when they think I do things wrong or ask why did I do something. Like, those are good, useful questions. What I don't want is people just basically like screaming into a void at me and just putting nonsense in the chat. I want people to interact, but I want it to be constructive, useful interaction. It's really arrogant to just assume that I know everything, because I don't know everything. I make plenty of mistakes when I'm playing here on stream. There's plenty of things I have to learn. Chat helps me learn and make things better, do better, and become a better Magic player all the time. And I just, you know, I don't want people to say, ha ha, you are wrong, I do this other thing. If people don't tell me why they do that other thing, I don't actually learn anything from it. How would you say rates differ in Legacy? Well, in Legacy, the unfair decks just kill you on the first turn of the game. So playing out a 4/4 on turn 1 isn't good enough. That's why. Because the really unfair, cheesy things that happen in Legacy are way more powerful than Hallowed One. We're very dead here, right? Very dead here. We just really... Oh, we really don't have the tools to win this matchup. I guess we're going to play through... I guess it's really just Stormbreath Dragon we have a hard time with, right? It's really just Stormbreath Dragon. I really don't think Panza is a particularly good deck. I don't think Bloodbraid Elf really solved any of the problems that Panza had as an archetype, which generally stem from the fact that your opponent can get under you and then kill you that way. Wilt-Leaf Liege is probably pretty difficult to cast. Actually, Anafenza is probably worse. This makes my things bigger at least. And let's cut these. I'm going to bring in some Thoughtseizes to probably tag some of their things before they get on the board. Let's try this. Again, this kind of mid-range style deck has a hard time getting under Panza, which are the best ways generally to beat Panza is getting under it. This hand just doesn't do enough, right? This hand's pretty good. It's got an accelerant in it, which is nice. I've played the Hallowed One deck a little bit after the last Pro Tour. I haven't played the most current iterations of it, but in general, the deck does feel really powerful and consistent. I'm going to top that. I want a third land for sure. I can start fetching some basics here as well. What do you mean by get under Panza? I mean play cards to the board that allow you to put pressure into play before your opponent can Stone Rain you or Blood Moon you off your lands. That's what I mean by get under. Alright, this is probably easy, just like push the bird, play the voice, pass. Grab a swamp here. Any more events I plan to go to soon? I don't think so. I don't currently have any more events on my calendar. Thanks, Damod. I might go to the Open in Louisville at the end of next month, but I'm not sure yet. I need to figure out if I want to spend $300 going to a tournament. Going to Magic tournaments is not cheap, which was a big part of the reason why we dressed up like an owl to go to the tournament this past weekend. Because going to tournaments is more fun when it's on someone else's dollar. All right. So next time we get to play the Wilt-Leaf Liege, and then we're pretty well underneath them here. Go ahead and fetch a basic forest here, and then smash them for 5. Yeah, the weekend was fun. I was kind of sad that I had to end it a little bit early because of snow, but hopefully if I do end up going to the tournament in Louisville next month, we won't have snow in May. Well, it's a very large cost to change decks in Legacy. Look at how many dollars it costs to change decks in Legacy. It's very expensive. In addition to a monetary cost, there's also a time cost associated with learning a new deck. And past all of that, Legacy's really kind of a stale format. The cards that are good in Legacy are very good, and most of the other cards aren't particularly powerful, and it isn't very often that we see new cards printed that have a meaningful impact on Legacy, which means the format of the whole really isn't that subject to change, which makes it really kind of dry if you're interested in, like, working on new ideas. Bloodbraid Elf, yep. Stone Rain, sure. Dealer's Choice. I'm going to lose my Swamp here, I assume. And this is a good example. Someone was asking, what do I mean by go under my Ponza opponent? This is kind of a good example of getting under them, right? Like, we have our large creatures. We're on the board. Our opponent's going to struggle to, like, keep up with the things that we're putting into play. No, they can watch the stream. If they want to sit there and give me a viewer after I ban them, more power to them. I think I'm just smashing with everything here. If they want to eat my Noble Hierarch with their Bloodbraid Elf, that means they're not double blocking one of my 4/4s, which I think is profitable for me. I think Hallowed One is too slow and fair for Legacy. Set a donation goal for European GP. Scrub out and take Christie and profit. Oh no, why are the gods so angry? That's sad. I mean, I'm just gonna modern can get pricey too. All right. Decks metagame. 4 most expensive modern decks. Paper. 1,000, 800, 800, 800. Legacy. 3,000, 4,000, 2,500, 4,800. So the 4 most popular modern decks, their total cost is like less than the second most popular Legacy deck cost. So yes, it's very relative, but Legacy is much more expensive than modern. Ridiculously so. That's a steal, right? I mean, modern's already kind of at that point. Erskine. Honestly, I'm pretty much of the opinion that Magic's pretty ripe for a getting a new non-rotating format. I think Arena is going to be a very easy excuse for Wizards of the Coast to introduce a new non-rotating format to the game. So I think we're going to see that pretty soon. Yeah, Kitchen Finks. I think you're very wrong. I think you say there's no chance that it'll happen. I think Arena is going to be the thing that pushes that to happen. I think Arena is going to be the thing that pushes a new non-rotating format to become a thing. I don't want to speculate on things like that where the cutoff will be. Wizards of the Coast just like close their eyes and pick shit at random. It'll be somewhere. A Brawl is different. Brawl is a rotating format that's a special commander type. Paka Flocka Flame with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support what I do here. Let's grab a Plains. If someone asked me my opinion on Frontier, Frontier was irrelevant from the start because it didn't have any official Wizards of the Coast support. So a format that has official Wizards of the Coast support will automatically be different than what Frontier is or was. Frontier was a new format that was invented by stores in Japan to help them sell shitty Magic cards that weren't competitive in Modern. I think when they do draw the line in the sand for their new non-rotating format that's very likely to happen at some point, it will be after the fetch lands were introduced. Hey, Ballin6 with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. No, Brawl is different. Brawl is the people that keep saying Brawl don't understand what we're talking about. I mean, it's an accurate description of Frontier. That's the truth. It's an accurate description of Frontier. All right. I've been bullied. I've been bullied enough for one night. What would I like to see for a new non-rotating format? It's just get out of here. Take a 10-minute dickhead break. This thing that I know nothing about will be fucking terrible. Just that's such a classic TCG/Magic player thing. Just like, that sounds terrible. I have no idea what the details are, but I want nothing to do with it. It's just like, can you just like put your dick in your pants for a second and just like calm down and just like think about what we're talking about for a second? Just it's okay, I promise. It might be good, it might be bad, but the fact that we don't know the details, like, I would be, here's the indications that we know that a new non-rotating format is coming. I think it's very unlikely that Wizards of the Coast introduces Modern and Legacy to Arena. People that have cards that rotate out of Standard in Arena are going to need a new format to play those Magic cards in that will initially exist on Arena. Because that new format will exist on Arena, that means it has official support from Wizards of the Coast. And a new format that has support from Wizards of the Coast is a huge deal and will take off. And if Arena is realistically going to be what they want Arena to be, which is their premier play tool at some point, that new non-rotating format will probably be integrated into their premier play at some point. Someone else mentioned Brawl. Brawl sounds great, and we're probably going to play it on stream at some point when it comes out. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night, folks. I'll be live again tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll have a nice long stream. I'm going to be live Monday through Wednesday evening all this week, and then Thursday and Friday morning as well. So thanks, everyone, for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully. If you didn't catch our league before this one, it was much more successful than this run with Blue-White Control. I'm going to hit publish on that on my YouTube shortly, and you can check it out there. I'll see all y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a good night and a good start to your week.